They tried to take me out. Now, I was doing so good. I was getting on here daily doing the show, and I was I thought we was making progress here. But then, the devil be trying to work. So the devil was working, and I couldn't let him win. I couldn't let him win because I felt like if I let him win, I wouldn't be here right now. And I wasn't gonna do a show today, but I'm doing it anyway because you know why? I I can't even open the chat. Chat. Okay. I don't know. I couldn't even let the devil win because if the devil wins, I won't be here and we won't get through things. But I'm here. We got things to talk about. Saturday was a good day. This whole first half of the NFL preseason has been great. We have a lot of things to talk about. We have to talk about Shedeur's performance. If you was over there on Instagram, then you saw I recorded his very first touchdown pass. So that was so good. And did you know that they raised the prices of those tickets when they found out that Shedeur was starting? The Panthers tickets were averaging maybe $58 or less. When they found out that Shedeur was starting, the tickets went up to about 125, 128, 158, 165 plus when they found out that Shedeur was starting because they already knew that he was coming into town and he already knew the fan base that he has. And no matter what you say, the guy has a fan base. So we are going to chat about that. I got a few more things that we have to talk about. I told you not to buy an NFL red ticket, but we'll see. We'll see. So much more to talk about. There's an 18-year-old coming on a tennis scene doing her thing, and I love it. But right after this, we're going to jump right in. Welcome back to the Daily Dose with Des.
Admit it. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it loud. Got you feeling so proud. This is how we do it now. Daily Dose with Des. Got you coming back for
more. Okay, let's get into it. No. I thought it was really cool. You know what this is? Do you know what this is? This is Tom Brady's statue outside of Gillette Stadium. So the first preseason game, they did the ceremony for him, revealed the statue. I honestly thought, I didn't think it was going to look like this. I didn't think it was going to look like this. I don't know what I thought it was going to look like, but I didn't think it would look like this. That's okay. That's okay. He was standing, I forgot to get the picture, but he was standing in front of it. But this is the statue that they honored him with for the first preseason game of the season. He had lots of fans out there. The Patriots actually looked good. Now, I don't want to hear, oh, it's just the preseason, it's just the backups. If your backups look good, you have a good problem. Okay? Your twos, your threes look good, you have a good problem. The Patriots looked great. They looked phenomenal. And this is Tom Brady's statue. So, maybe I'll go one day and look at it. Let me blow it up for y'all. I like to, let's just see what in case you want to see. So yeah. I felt like it was supposed to look like something different. I don't know. But that's just my opinion here. But yeah, so that's his statue outside of Gillette. If you've never been to Gillette, it's beautiful. It's beautiful the way they have like the shopping center, and then they have like the streets and all that you can go into, and then you go into the stadium. It's beautiful, absolutely breathtaking. The way like it sits up high, you can see it. So if you ever go see the statue, then that's what you'll see. That's what you'll be looking at. Or the base of it is really cool. Has some sayings and things on it. But I feel like I just had to bring it up and talk about it since that was something that was taking over social media outside of Shedeur. Shedeur was taking over, and rightfully so. So Shedeur in his celly, of course, everybody, I don't want to say everybody. The Panthers have fans there too. The Panthers have fans there too. But the fans that I saw, and I was so proud to see them in the stands. They were rocking their 12, seeing lots of Colorado jerseys. There actually is a video out there. I could not screen record it for some reason. There was actually a video out there where a fan, when Shedeur got his first touchdown and he did the celly held up the wrist. The fan was like, you could see him in the background, kind of blurred out. He was doing the celebration at the same time. So I'm like, this is so good. It's just like one of those moments where you want us to hate this kid so much. And I know I keep calling them kids. You want us to hate this man so much, and it's not happening. It's not happening. He also approached a Ohio or Cleveland reporter and was like, you don't ever have nothing positive to say about me. What did I do to you? And they was like, oh, this is Deion's son. This is Deion's son. He went right up and was like, you don't never have nothing positive to say about me. Why is that? Why don't you ever have something positive? What did I do to you? And y'all know, if you know Deion, if you're a fan, if you know, Deion do the same type of thing. Like, what did I do to you? I know they always remember. They keep receipts. They're very well. But it's like I said, like when I talked about how he was in the Cleveland community and that just really wasn't being celebrated enough there. And all the things that he is doing, all the things that, you know, he has building relationships with the veterans on the team. I told you the Myles Garrett relationship that they have is so special and it's so just unique and it's so refreshing, like I said, to see Myles Garrett really take him in. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like if you have a player on the team, especially your quarterback, right, who is elevating the people around him, who has good connections and good relationships with them, who has your king guy, you know, has the support of your king guy, then at the end of the day, like, we all know the answer. We all know the answer, and I feel like it's a prolonged thing. They're going to keep prolonging it. They're going to keep just anything to get it. I keep telling you, this is the most that we've ever wanted to talk about Cleveland. This is the most that we ever even cared enough about Cleveland to just continuously talk about them. Every time you turn around, Cleveland is being brought up. And another thing, for them to take him in such a late round, they are really exploiting the ideas of continuing to put him on social media. He's mic'd up. They're showing every little thing that he does. But in the beginning, it was we don't like the fame that comes with them. We don't like all the antics that come with them. And all they did was feed into those same exact antics that they said they didn't like. Make it make sense. But we are a Shedeur Stan account over here. I felt like a proud cousin or something when I seen him and how well he was doing. I had the stats, but I forgot. But I feel like he had 2 touchdowns. I do know that. I feel like he showed out. He got comfortable out there. He started to perform with more confidence, more, you know, being comfortable in the pocket, doing what he needs to do as a player. And I just feel like you can't make us hate him. Cleveland said, if you can't beat them, join them. And they've officially joined the Shedeur Sanders fan account. That's what I'm going to call it. They have officially joined the party because you can't beat them. So why you want to keep trying? That's just my opinion, though. Okay, moving on. This is out of order. This is out of order. I didn't actually do it like I was supposed to. But we're going to try to stay with NFL. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. You can't even see this. Let me make this big. Now, I mentioned the NFL ticket, right? Do you see this? See this? The cost, right? So if you're trying to watch the NFL games this season and you're trying to figure out how are you going to watch them, where you're going to watch them, all of that jazz, you best to have a bag. I'm going to make the picture small. I'm going to have to just bring it up on my end. You better have a bag because you're going to need a bag. You're going to need a bag to watch the games. So y'all better get a crew together. One of y'all get one of the things and just share the password. Just share the password. So for you to watch this season, it's like NFL fans got money. You gotta have money. Where'd my picture go? Let me get it on the computer. So you have to have all these subscriptions in order to watch NFL, and it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. It got out of hand when I told y'all don't buy that Sunday, the Sunday ticket, because you were not getting the off the market games. You were not getting your money's worth. And they had a lawsuit. And I told y'all if y'all had money or if you bought it, you should get in on the lawsuit. I know that I said it and they set up that lawsuit. So if you didn't get in on the lawsuit when I told you to join the lawsuit, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because I told you what to do. Okay? So if you want to watch NFL this season, you need ESPN. It says DTC. That's $29.99 a month. This is not including taxes. Okay, so it's probably going to be like $32. Maybe more than that, like $35. Okay, you need Amazon Prime, which is $14.99 a month. Really, it's like 16 something, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Now, if you already got Amazon Prime with the shipping, you should be able to do and watch all the TV. That might be right. I don't know, chat. Let me know. But I think if you already got Amazon Prime, that's already a fee that you're already paying. So you need to go ahead and watch your TV. Yeah, clock the T. Then you need Peacock, $11.99 a month. I don't know what's on Peacock. What's on Peacock? Thursday games now? No, Thursday is on Amazon Prime. It's on Peacock. Paramount Plus, that is $11.99 a month. You need Fox One, $19.99 a month. You need Netflix, $22.99 a month. Now, again, you're already paying for Netflix, so you better just do your thing. All I'm going to say is if it's going to be $22.99, I need the game not to be buffering and buffering. Okay? The clock don't need to be spinning if I'm watching the game. It don't need to be grainy and all of that either. I feel like that's my disrespect. You want me to pay all this money? I'm trying to watch y'all bringing in live TV and y'all don't even figure out how you're going to do live TV. And I know it's an issue because not only was football kind of buffering and boofering and doing all that stuff and it was grainy, the fight was the same way. Okay? So we need to figure something out. People are paying a lot of money. You're getting millions, if not billions of dollars a year. Fix it. And then you have the NFL Sunday Ticket, which I told y'all not to buy. I'm not a fan, but that's a one-time of $480. So that brings you to a total of $1,171.64. And it says it's accounting for taxes or regional fees, but you basically need $1,200 to watch NFL all season. $1,200. Do with that as you must. You gotta be rich. The NFL says you gotta be rich. You gotta be rich to watch the game. If you're not rich, find a rich friend and watch it with them. Go to the sports bar. I mean, even when you go to the sports bar, I feel like, I don't know, you go to the sports bar, I feel like you still have to pay. Well, I mean, you're getting drinks and stuff, so you might be spending a little bit more, but that's like maybe like once in a blue moon. I don't know. I know they feel like if you're not going to come into the stadium and you're not going to come, which they still have hella fans going into the stadium, by the way, but they feel like if you're going to be outside of the stadium, you got to pay up. You got to pay to play. Really pay to watch. Okay, whatever. I look kind of grainy on this thing. I'm like, I have a, I'm watching myself on a smaller screen. I look grainy here. I got to fix that camera quality because I don't like that. Because it also makes my videos, when I clip it, look horrific. Horrific. I don't like it. Me don't like. What I think is funny though, let's look at this. Let's look at this.
Sideline can clear things up as we look at CeeDee Lamb on the sideline. Kyle?
Yeah, guys, this happened right in front of me. CeeDee Lamb was celebrating Jonathan Mingo getting behind his defender. He was so excited, he jumped in front.
Sideline can clear things up as we look at CeeDee Lamb on the sideline. Kyle?
Yeah, guys, this happened right in front of me. CeeDee Lamb was celebrating Jonathan Mingo getting behind his defender. He was so excited, he jumped in front.
When you get tackled or trampled by the ref. I felt like CeeDee Lamb was going to come out with an injury or something after this, and I was going to be like, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dallas Cowboys and their team. But honestly, it really is a reflection of their team right now. Their team, what's going on with Micah? Right? So CeeDee Lamb is in the way. In the way. He got a fine, well, not a fine. He got a penalty for it too. Because you were in the way, bro. Get out the way. What is you doing in the way? This is you're not in Dallas where you can be on the sidelines and maybe they'll see you, but you are literally in this man's way. You are impeding his job. One more time.
Sideline can clear things up as we look at CeeDee Lamb on the sideline. Kyle?
Yeah, guys, this happened right in front of me. CeeDee Lamb was celebrating Jonathan Mingo getting behind his defender. He was so excited, he jumped in front.
And then he get up like, yo, you just not. Yeah, yo, I knocked you over because you're in my way. Get out the way. Get out the way. The ref was on Ludacris, said, move. All right. I'm going to behave. I'm going to behave. I just need that comedic relief. The Dallas Cowboys is, they just. Another person here did some great things. This is Cam Little. Cam Little had a 70-yard field goal. What's the field goal? Yes, field goal against the Pittsburgh Steelers when they were at home in their first preseason game. Unfortunately, this will not go into the books because they were like, this is preseason and we don't count preseason. So it would have broken the record from Justin Tucker. His longest one was, I think, 66 yards, but that was during the regular season. I do think that we are going to see this same attempt during the regular season. And I do think it'll be successful. It just depends on where they try to do it. They need to make sure that they actually do it in Jacksonville. Don't go to Buffalo out there in the wind trying to kick it. Don't go to Kansas City thinking you're going to try. Don't do that. Okay? Don't go to places where they're going to be rumbling and tumbling and the fans are really loud and they got open air stadiums too. It's not as nice as Jacksonville in terms of weather. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they got to pick and choose wisely where they decide to have it happen again. But if he did it once, he can do it twice. He can do it 3 of them times. So I think that we're going to see it again. I think that there will be a new longest field goal record, and it's going to be Cam Little because it's already Cam Little. It's just it didn't count. It was a little too early. That was corny. It was a little too early, but we got some legs over there. And I must admit, I have to apologize. Pittsburgh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was unfamiliar with your game. They went in there and got the win. You know how excited I was? I was so excited. I was so lit. Like, I was so lit. Like, oh my God. Okay. They went in there and handled the Benai. Okay, if you know, you know. Moving on. I got a lot of topics to talk about. I'm on here kind of late, so let's just keep it going. I guess we're gonna stick with football. And this is where we're gonna go. Yeah. Tennessee wide receiver Chris Brazil was arrested on driving charge. Okay. So I had to figure out what this was. Because at first I was like, they don't mean Tennessee. They mean Georgia. They mean Georgia. Don't turn to Georgia, okay? The SEC has issues with these players getting arrested. And they're young. They're young, right? They're young. But this young man, let me go back. He lost. He was losing it. He was crazy. It's always the getting arrested for driving. At this point, take their license away. When they enter campus and they come into camp, take the license away. You can't drive. You can't drive. You can't drive. Yeah. Anyway, but he was recently arrested. He was charged with driving on a suspended license. And this was according to reports from Wait and Yahoo Sports. And then it happened in Knox County, but like obviously okay. So basically it took place in Knox County, specifically while he was driving across the Henley Street Bridge in downtown Knoxville near the UT campus. And this was according, like I said, to Yahoo Sports. The incident occurred on a Friday night. His license was suspended for failing to appear in court in Blount County. All right, so obviously the university is aware. The university is always going to be aware because that's what happens when our players get arrested. The university knows, the coach knows, and now everybody else in the world knows. So he was, like I said, he was arrested for driving on a suspended license. That's why I said when they get there, just take the license. But it's also, I would urge, right, the staffers for these players to kind of, I know it's an extra job, but it's kind of like an extra job that is not too much. Is it really too much to go in there and to make sure that their licenses are together, to make sure that you can't stop them from driving under the influence. You can't stop them from speeding. You can't stop them from doing a lot of the things that they're doing, maybe with higher disciplinary action or something. I'm not sure. But things like their license and making sure that all their documentation and their paperwork is all together, I think that's just like a simple first time step that you can do to avoid things like this happening. It didn't say that he was speeding. It didn't say that he was necessarily doing anything that was reckless, but he definitely had a bad license. So what you need to do is make sure your license and things are together, especially if you're going to be driving or in or around campus. So that's just a thing there. At least he wasn't, doing 80. He might have been doing 80 and 60. I don't know. But the reports didn't say that. But at least he wasn't doing something that was extremely reckless. That's like, okay, come on, dude. Like, we got to do better than that. But yeah, you got to get your license together. How you drive, and that's the thing. Like, why are you driving around with a bad license anyway? Why would you want to do that? Because you young and dumb. Okay. Anyway, another arrest. LSU. What didn't I just say? The SEC got problems. When the players get arrested, I just said that. Didn't I? Oh no, I gotta take something out. I need to. Oh, I gotta plug in my other thing, y'all. Gotta plug it in. Okay, so boom. LSU running back JT Lindsey was arrested on accessory charges. When I seen this, I was like, accessory charge? Accessory of what? What happened? Right? Like, I'm not understanding. And this was after the fact, after the matter. So I'm going to read the article because it makes sense just to read some of it. Okay. Because we gotta get names here. Right, so LSU football player accused of harboring 2 murder suspects in his dorm. It's not funny. Okay. LSU. Oh my gosh. Okay. LSU Tigers freshman running back JT Lindsey turned himself into authorities as he faced accusations that he harbored 2 men accused of murder, put the other M on it, where Ashanti used to sing at, in his dorm. Shamil Jacobs, 17, and Keldrick Jordan, 18, were each wanted for armed, I don't even know if I can say that on here, armed, robbery, and second-degree murder charges in Louisiana. The Alexandria Police Department said the U.S. Marshal Service apprehended both suspects on Monday in the LSU dorms. So they were accused of a 17-year-old in May. So this is something that's been going on for some months now. Lindsey was arrested on Friday with 2 accessory after the fact to second-degree M charges and released the same day on a $5,000 bond. An affidavit said Jacobs had Lindsey's school ID and was able to give the football player's PIN to allow him access to the dorm, and that the two could be seen together as far back as July 24th. Lindsey's lawyer told the outlet in a statement that his client did not know the 2 suspects were wanted in connection to no type of charges. He said, we were just friends. They just my homeboys. They just my friends. I didn't know that they committed a crime. I wasn't a part of that. I wasn't on no type of time like that. That wasn't me. I wasn't in that. Basically what he's saying. And it's saying that it said that basically they were friends and that they wanted to stay at his apartment that night around July 24th. So he let him. He was like, yeah, of course, you can come. Y'all my homeboys, y'all can stay. Right? And then it says, it is alleged the 2 individuals were wanted for crimes that they were accused of committing in the middle of May 2025, so this year, And it says there are no allegations that JT Lindsay was in any way involved in or in any way connected to the alleged crimes that the individuals basically committed. So my opinion and my take on this is I believe him. I believe him. I believe that he didn't know what they did. And, excuse me, he's not accused of doing any of these crimes. He's not accused of having any weapons. He's not accused of any of those things. He's just essentially accused of letting his friends come and stash out and stay at his dorm. And he probably thought they probably do it often, or they probably used to hang out together when they were in high school and they used to do stuff like this. Because, you know, you have friends that come over and say, hey, you want to come visit? Like, I've went to go visit, like, my sorority sisters, and I've stayed in their dorms and things. So, you know, it's not kind of fair to them. Like, if I did a crime and then suddenly the police are at her door also arresting her for an after the fact, you know. I don't think that if he knew that they did these things, that he would have let them stay. He might have still let them stay. He might have still let them stay, but it probably would have been a little bit more incognito, I feel like. I feel like if he gave them the ID and the pen and all that, I don't think that he knew what they had done or what they were accused of, allegedly. I feel like they would have moved a little bit differently. That's just my opinion, though. I just feel like I feel like they would have moved a little bit differently had they known, or had it been a thing that, you know, that he knew. But nonetheless, he was arrested and released, and we're going to see what comes from this. I do believe, like I said, I believe him, though. I believe that he didn't know what they were up to. They did it back in May. Oh, well, no. I'm stick to it. I'm gonna stick to it. I do not believe that he knew. What y'all think? Let me know. What y'all think? Let me know. I wanna know. I don't know why I can't do it over here. Let's get this work. I'm about to just, yeah. For some reason, I can't see I just try to do the chat, and I can't even see it over here. So if anybody was typing anything, I can't see it anyway. Anyway, okay, whatever. Moving on. Remember I told y'all about Marcus Morris? Do you remember? Remember? Well, you probably don't remember, but if you don't remember, let me recap your brain real quick. So Marcus Morris had been arrested, and he was charged with basically stealing over, I think it was $260,000 plus from Las Vegas casinos. And really, Las Vegas was like, if you pay us back, we'll drop the charges. But you tried us, and you thought that we wasn't going to be on no type of time, but we on that type of time. So you need to pay us, or we're going to keep our warrant out. And basically, his lawyer team and everybody was like, we're going to pay. We're going to pay. Okay, so the charges have now been dropped because he apparently paid in full. Okay, so maybe he did have the money, but he just was trying to get more money. I don't really know. Okay, but what I do know is that I reported that he was arrested off of these charges, and I needed to come back and report to you again that he has now been released of all charges. He is no longer facing theft in Vegas because he paid them the $265,000 plus that he tried to, or that he did steal from them. So just had to give you an update with that because, yeah, I'm not about to just bring you stories. I keep telling y'all I keep up with things. I ain't going to bring you a story and then just leave y'all hanging. I don't do stuff like that. I got to make sure I bring you the real deal, Holyfield, and we get on and get into it. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about, before we go into college, I'm going to talk about a sport that I don't really talk about as much unless it's really has been Coco Gauff. Coco Gauff is my girl. I love her damn. Okay? But this is Victoria, Victoria. Her name's Victoria. She's 18 years old. And she just beat Naomi and the Canadian Open. I believe that's what it's called. She's a Canadian from Montreal, or they were playing in Montreal. Either way, she's a Canadian. Get into it, the teas. Chocolate brown girl. And she beats Naomi. What I thought was funny, the gag of this all, because she looked up to Naomi. She was like, this is my idol. She had nothing but positive, beautiful things to say about her. And Naomi was like, you know, she gave the response of somebody who just lost, in my opinion. I felt like she didn't embrace her as much as she probably could have. And I think on the court, I don't think that she either didn't shake her hand or she kind of just like didn't really acknowledge her too much. But I mean, I guess you could be mad. I guess you could be mad because the 18-year-old came in here and put BTA. Yeah. When I look at it, to me, it wasn't the most like warmest embrace. You know, it wasn't the warmest embrace to me. And I just felt like Naomi could have been, you know, she could have been just a little bit more, I don't know. But basically, she was a wild card. Girl, you got beat by a wild card? What's tea? Victoria, an 18-year-old Canadian wild card, defeated Naomi to win the National Bank Open in Montreal. She started the year ranked 333rd. 333. She was on the list. She was all the way down there. She was all the way down at the bottom. She was ranked 333, right? She secured her first WTA title by winning the final 2-6, 6-4, 6-1. The victory marks a significant breakthrough for Victoria, who had to overcome a one-set deficit, and a wrist injury to claim the title. Right? She made an unexpected run. This was not supposed to happen. This girl is blessed by the man upstairs, and she was not supposed to even be here. She was not supposed to win. Essentially, that's what I got from it. She was not supposed to win, right? And basically, her ranking jumped from 333 to 24. She also beat 4 other Grand Slam champions. Just gonna put that out there to get her where she's at now, to be at 24. The girl's a real deal. Okay? She dominated the second set. She finished out strong. She had good momentum. She had a good baseline game. The crowd was supporting of her. They were backing her. They were all in, right? This victory makes her only the second youngest player in WTA history to defeat 4 Grand Slam champions in one event. Right? And it says here, like, the sportsmanship of Naomi. She's faced some criticism for a brief, somewhat rushed post-match speech where she didn't immediately congratulate Victoria. She later apologized on social media for the oversight. But it's like, girl, don't be a sore loser. Don't be a sore loser. Don't be a sore loser because this 18-year-old girl came out of nowhere and put BTA. The problem was you thought that she was just some low down, not that good girl because she was ranked 333rd. And then she came and because you dominated the first set. And then she was like, hold on, wait a minute. You thought I was finished? If I can handle you and I can handle the other ones that I beat too, the other Grand Slam champions that I beat, guarantee I'm not giving up. You thought that she was going to be some slack. You thought that she was going to be whack. That's what you thought. You thought she was going to be whack. And she came out and dominated you and put you to shame. And you couldn't even have enough sportsmanship. You couldn't even have enough grace. You couldn't even have enough, like, not sour attitude to actually congratulate her. You couldn't congratulate her? You're a sore loser. Naomi, you're a sore loser. Girl, I know I ain't never really liked you like that anyway. You're a sore loser. Go ahead, Victoria. Get your teas, baby girl. We're cheering for you over here. We're now a Victoria Stan account. Play with her. She did what needed to be done. One thing I don't like is sore losers. Y'all know how I am. I don't like sore losers, and I don't like men that interact with domestic violence. I don't like women that do domestic violence either. Let's just make that clear. Domestic violence is never a thing that I will ever support. Okay? Just had to make that clear because I don't want y'all to try to clip these things or be in my DM talking about whatever y'all was talking about. Whatever. Moving on. I did a TikTok on this before. I remember saying this to y'all, that the Connecticut Sun were going to be leaving their area, that they were going to be leaving, and I said that the perfect place for them to go was to go to Boston. They are going to go to Boston, I think in 2027. This is a little old news because I was supposed to put it on a show before, and it just blew out of my mind. Now, the owners did come on and was like, well, the Boston Celtics are essentially going to be buying the team. And it was like, well, the deal isn't completely done. So, yeah, that's on that. Well, they going to Boston. That's on that. Y'all put the team up for sale. I couldn't hold it down. So it's going to go to Boston. I think when I said it before, I think it was like an hour and 45-minute commute from where they were at to go into Boston. But I feel like this is perfect for them. It's to be, it'd be a great opportunity to expand their marketing, to expand their fan base, to really get them in a higher price market. Boston has some great, great, great fans. So one thing I can really say, Boston has great fans, and now they're going to support this team as well. They need more money, they need more backing, they need a whole bunch more. They just need more. They just need more. They need more. And Boston is going to give them more. It will be lit if they did change their colors and the color scheme was kind of the same. Like, this is why I really love, like, Pittsburgh. Like, the whole majority of Pittsburgh is, like, the same type of color scheme. The MLB, NFL, they got soccer. Whatever else they got there. With all three of the teams, the big main teams, they all are, black and yellow, whatever. So I do love that because it makes it easier to buy the merch. It makes it easier to be able to wear your thing, do your thing. But when you go out and you have a Boston shirt on now, you represented both basketball teams. Boston basketball is about to be lit. It's about to be lit up. It's about to be done up. And I just want to say that I was one of the first few people that was like, that I saw this coming, that they was going to go to Boston and it was going to be great. So I be knowing what I'm talking about, y'all. I be knowing what I'm talking about. Okay? Anyway. The MLB, speaking of MLB, they made history. They had MLB Jen. Hey. Jen made her debut as umpire for the home plate. Look at her. Go, Jen. Her name is Jen Pawol. I think that's how you say it. Pawol. Yeah. Jen is knocking down the doors for women in MLB, and I love it. Just like Jessica did, being a coach over there with the Seattle Kraken. I just love it. I love it. There's nothing to not love about this. And there's more to the story. So 50 years ago, before MLB Jen, and I'm gonna keep calling her MLB Jen because that's her thing, right? So let me put both of them on the screen. Hold on. There was, before there was MLB Jen. Boom. Let's put her up on there. Get into it. There was, I think her name is Bianca. Let me make sure I get it right. No, not Bianca. Bernice. So, again, I gotta make sure I say it. You may think I'm repeating it 4 times. I'm like, why are you repeating it so much? I'm repeating it because when I clip it, I gotta make sure I'm saying the right stuff. Okay? If you okay, just bear with me. But anyway, before there was MLB Jen, there was MLB Bernice. Okay? Bernice Gira. So it says the MLB welcomes its first female umpire over 50 years after Bernice Gira was told she didn't belong in baseball. Right? This is a People magazine article, and y'all not be dipping and diving and dipping into it. We got to figure out this is history. We love female history, right? We just love it, right? So it says this moment comes 50 years after Bernice was first fighting for inclusion. She wanted to be, umpiring. She wanted to be in baseball, and they basically turned her away. Like, this is a man's sport. You have no business being here. And Jen was like, I got business being here. I'm going to make history. I'm going to do it. And she was the umpire during the Miami Marlins when they took on the Atlanta Braves. This happened Saturday, August the 9th. The historic moment comes, I'm going to keep reading the same thing, over 50 years, right? And it says, Bernice loved baseball, using it as an anchor in her really tumultuous childhood. She played with her brothers, and she rarely missed a Brooklyn Dodgers game before the team moved to Los Angeles, and now they are the Los Angeles Dodgers. It says she was working as a secretary. Baseball was consistently on her mind. She desperately wanted to work for one of the major league teams. She asked each organization for a job. Every team declined. And it says, at first, I tried to get a job with any club doing anything, she said in a 1972 interview. I would have sold peanuts. If they would have let her sold peanuts, she would have sold peanuts. Baby girl just wanted to be a part, right? But the answer was always negative, and it was always no, and it was always that thing every time, essentially, right? So she was like, she waited 3 months for one team to answer. And guess what the answer was? You guessed it. Yeah, you guessed it. But she said, like, she stayed up nights praying for a moment to come through, praying for her to get an opportunity. And when they would say, like, when they said no, she said, I decided to become an umpire. They said no. I said I was going to become an umpire. In 1966, she decided to take matters into her own hands. She applied to and was accepted at the Al Summers School for Umpires in 1967. She was all set to attend until Al Summers realized her name was Bernice and not Bernie. He told her essentially never had, that he basically never had been a woman. Okay, hold on. I thought it was me. I know how to read. I read to y'all all the time. Y'all know how to read. The grammar wasn't grammar, okay? But it was 1967, so I'm going to read it exactly how it says, okay? It says, never had been a woman in this umpire school, and there never would be. Okay, so at the age of 36, Bernice enrolled into the Florida baseball school after umpiring Little League games in the early 60s. The program was male dominated, as you can expect, and she spent 6 weeks in the program. She lived in a motel because there were no facilities for female athletes, for female students, excuse me. So she had to live in a motel for 6 weeks. And you know what? She didn't care because she did anyway. It said at night, her male colleagues would throw cans at her door. After completing her training, the National Association of Professional Baseball League, so the NAPBL, rejected her application, saying that she did not meet the physical requirements for the position. Okay? After that, she wrote several letters. She just was trying. She did not understand what was the problem. She went to the school. She got the training, she didn't understand. So after a while, she decided in 1969 that she was going to take it to the courts. She filed multiple formal complaints with the New York State Human Rights Commission. And then in April 1971, the appellate division issued an opinion in the case, confirming the previous order of the Human Rights Appeal Board that the organized baseball had indeed discriminated against her because of her sex, because she was a female. After several years in court, she won the right to umpire in 1972. That April, she was awarded a 1-year contract for the minor leagues. All through this case, my heart was broken. I've always wondered if it was worth it, Jira said, reflecting on the years long of the legal fight, the legal battle, and just getting to that point. They didn't want me on the field, she said in an interview. It all hinged on whether I could take it. I took it, but after I go home and cry like a baby. On June 24th, 1972, Jira made her professional debut. The game originally scheduled for the day prior was delayed due to the remnants of Hurricane Agnes. So they were the Class A Geneva Rangers and the Auburn Phillies had a doubleheader. it was reported that over 2,000 fans were in the stands mainly to see her. So she finally got it. The article is really long, so I'm gonna leave it at that. So she finally got it, right? She did pass away due to kidney cancer at the age of 61. She worked for several years in her position before it was ultimately eliminated. Like they just, basically whatever. And then her husband moved to Florida, where she later then passed away. So I love to have moments of history because this is just super duper important for her to fight this long legal battle. And although she didn't make it to the major league, she made it to the minor league. And then basically 50 years later to see MLB Jen get out there and umpire and do things that for the longest time they told women that they were not physically able or capable to do. To see her get out there, full-fledged woman doing it is just absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad I came across this story and I get to share it with you on this platform, because this is what this platform is about. It's not just about just the ebbs and flows of sports. It's about all things sports, and history is important because facts are important. I said what I said. Now, moving on. We're going to move on from that. I probably need to get a drink because I've been just talking. I forgot one for NFL. I forgot this. Whew. Okay, let me take a sip, y'all. That was a lot of reading. Now, during NFL preseason, the Falcons and the Lions had their game in Atlanta. Right? Yes, in Atlanta. So essentially, the Lions. Let me bring the article up. My brain moves so fast. Okay. The Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons had their game. The Lions cornerback, is it Maurice Norris. Lions cornerback Maurice Norris suffered a serious head injury that was taken. He was taken off the field in a cart. They suspended the game. It was a thing. The players were on the field. They were gathering around. They were praying. They were all together. And literally, it was about, I think, 6 minutes remaining in the game. They just was like, we're going to suspend it. We're going to call it off. He has now been placed on concussion protocol. He did get on social media a few days afterward and did on a post and said that he was all good. Head coach Dan Campbell did come out and say that, he was able to have some movement. He was well, he was alive, and that was exactly and all that he needed to hear, see, or have, because that was the thing, and that was the thing. So that I didn't put a picture of him on here because I felt like that was just ill taste. But we got to be more careful when it comes to the neck injury, the head injury, like the tackling. I don't know what it is, but it was a scary sight to see, honestly. I don't know why my thing is jumping, but a very scary sight to see. But anyway, we're going to move on. I have 2 more topics, guys. 2 more. It's already been 49 minutes. Why is it all the way down there? Okay, so I was scrolling on the Instagram, and I came across this photo, but actually it was like a carousel about Morehouse in Spelman. So really, Morehouse is the all-male university. Spelman is the all-female. So the female cheerleaders basically cheer for Morehouse, and it basically, I think it's called Spell House, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, there was articles written out about this, and they were saying that there might be a possibility that there will be no cheerleaders on game days, both away games and home games. Essentially, there is a lack of resources, a lack of poor communication, a lack of just monetary value. They then went on to explain how the cheerleading team has expanded their social media account over the past year in itself, how they were trending and going viral, and like people just wanted to do all those things. However, what a lot of people fail to realize is that social media may pay, but it's not paying the finances that you need in order to make this team be able to travel, in order to be able to give them even more resources. Like it just will never be enough. It's just not enough, period. Right? And social media is so up and down. It fluctuates so much that I can guarantee you that 1 month you'll make $1,000, the next month you'll make $100. You just never know. when it comes to it. But I didn't think and I didn't see why they would be relying on social media anyway when they should be relying on the schools. I also read that some of the people stepped down and that the people that were essentially leading the team were getting paid. That thing, I believe, said like $2.75 an hour. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but if that was the truth, that is absolutely crazy for it to be that low. But basically, they're underpaid. They're not paid for their services. They're not paid for their work. And now they're at the point where this team, this group may not even be able to do what they love and do what they have worked so hard to do and to be a part of because of lack of resources and money. And this is not anything that's new, but it's just the fact that it kind of blew up and went viral. Like, how could I not talk about it? So I'm going to keep an eye on this and really see like what more develops from this story. But it actually is really, really sad the fact that you even get to this point, especially in your collegiate career. Because I know when I went to college, the reason why I ended up transferring from my original college that I went to is because I wanted to be a cheerleader. Because I wanted to cheer. I've cheered all my life. Like, cheer is all I know. Cheer is literally life, right? So I transferred because I wanted to cheer. And then I transferred to a specific conference because I wanted to be a part of that conference. I wanted to be a part of their moment, that cheer sisterhood and the legacy and the history. Like, I just wanted to be a part of that. So I know what it feels like for you to be in college and you're living out one of your dreams, especially one of your collegiate dreams, and basically you're telling me that it may all just go away. No, oh my gosh, like I can't think about that. No, but it's happening. It's happening. So I definitely would keep you guys posted on that. All right. Last topic, because college football is around the corner. It's happening. We got about about 2 weeks. Well, really, we have 1 week because next week is the MEAC SWAC Challenge with the North Carolina Central Eagles and the Southern University Jaguars. That's going to be kicking off at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on August 23rd. And then after that, you have the AFLAC kickoff, which is going to be Syracuse and Tennessee and 2 other teams. So forgot. Just slipped past my mind. But anyway, so college football is kicking off. So as you know, the AP poll always comes out. This is the AP preseason poll. And it's usually like the top 25 teams. Okay. This graphic though here are all of the SEC football teams that made the AP preseason poll within the top 25 teams of who is going to be dipping and doing it for this season. Obviously, yes, it's preseason. Yes, it's a poll or whatever. But for the people that got in my comments, for the people that got in my DM that kept saying the SEC is not competitive with football. They're only competitive with basketball and baseball and all the other stuff. But if they're not competitive with football, why is there 10 teams? 10 teams. 10 SEC teams in the top 25 if they are not competitive. So tell me what your definition of competitive is, because I don't think I quite understand your definition of competitive if you're telling me that 10 out of the top 25 predicted teams to be in the top 25 this year are SEC teams, and you're telling me that the SEC is not competitive for football. I don't think you have that argument. And I keep telling y'all, I stand on what I say. I stand on it. You don't have to like my opinion, but I stand on what I said. The SEC is competitive when it comes to football. Why do we... What? In Texas, let me take it a step further. Texas is sitting at the top. And Texas is in a what? Don't matter where they came from, it's where they are now. They're in the what? As I thought. As I thought. So take it as you must. Yeah. But anyway, that's my show for the night. I know I got on here later. I've been talking for almost an hour now. I'm tired of talking. But thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Daily Dose with Des, this Tuesday huddle. What I'm going to call it? Tuesday takeover. Whatever it's called. Taco Tuesday. All the things. Thanks for tuning in. I'm back like I never left. They tried to take me out like I said before, but I'm here and I'm here to stay. And that's all it is ever going to be. Please make sure you're liking and sharing and subscribing on all social media platforms at PG Love Sports, or you can type it in at Pretty Girls Love Sports, specifically on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing over there, hitting that bell notification so you can get the notifications for when I do go live. And we're going to be getting into it because football season is right around the corner and I always get something to talk about. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in.